Hey, I'm AJ Mitchell, and you're listening to Main Pod Girl.
Hey, welcome to Main Pod Girl, a podcast made by Popheads for Popheads. Every episode, we'll be diving into all kinds of pop culture topics with some of our favorite artists and music commentators. I'm your host, AJ Marks. Today's special guest was one of our first guests on the show back in 2021. He's gold certified, has accumulated millions of followers on social media, and has collaborated with Meghan Trainor, Ava Max, Cheat Codes, Steve Aoki, just to name a few. And he's here to talk about his new album coming May 3rd. It's my pop star named twin, AJ Mitchell. What's up, AJ?
Whoa, what's up, twin?
I think we started this basically the exact same way last time. And it's so funny because 2 episodes ago, I was just talking with our other named twin, AJ Mashaka, a Valley and AJ.
So it's a triplet. You got triplets.
Yeah, we're triplets. We're all together.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with an icebreaker. What songs are you listening to at the moment?
I'm such a weirdo, I feel like, because when I got into the music industry, I was like writing so much. So now at the point when I want to listen to something, I like throw on classical music. Like last year, my main artist was Ryuichi Sakamoto. That's really all I've been listening to lately.
No, that's fair. Actually, one of my top 5 artists this year has been, and I don't know why, I've just got nostalgic for, did you play Pokemon as a kid?
I didn't. That was one thing that I didn't get into.
There's this guy called Braxton Burks, and he took all of the Pokemon themes, like even just like walking through a route or like doing a gym battle or whatever, and he reorchestrated them. So they're by an actual orchestra now instead of like 8-bit.
Oh,
and
whoa.
They just sound incredible. So I've been listening to a lot of that, just like
What?
if I'm walking down the street, I'll be listening to like the Pokemon walking music, but like by an orchestra. It's really sick.
That sounds sick. Honestly, I'm about to look that up. And
So I feel you.
I'm about to listen to that.
Hiss by Megan Thee Stallion. That's another big one.
Yeah, there's some beef going on, huh? With Nicki and them?
Yeah.
I
mean, it's
that.
like a one-sided beef, I think, because I don't even know if Hiss was directed at Nicki. I think that she just kind of took it and ran with it as a diss, but...
Oh, no. That's embarrassing.
Okay, so let's play a game called It's a 10, but where I'll say a song that I think is a certified 10, but I'll give it a twist. And then we have to decide on a scale from like 0 to 10 if that twist has improved or ruined the song.
Okay.
Can we still keep these songs 10 out of 10? Let's find out. So Treasure by Bruno Mars, that's a 10.
Ooh, yeah.
But produced by Daft Punk, what is it now?
I feel like that'd be pretty saucy.
I feel like it'd maybe be a 12 or a 13.
That's what I'm saying. I was gonna say like 11 or 12 for sure.
It's just kind of like if they did Random Access Memories Deluxe maybe and added that would have been sick. Like
that would have been so saucy.
All right, okay, cool. So that one goes up. Next song is Blackbird by the Beatles, but there's no metronome. So in the song, there's like a...
I didn't even notice that. I mean, I think it's 10. It would still be a 10.
It would still be a 10 to you?
It would 100%.
I think it'd be an 11, only because I hate that metronome.
That's great. That's so funny. I've
like,
never...
When you notice it, you're like, damn, I don't know.
Okay, I hear you. Yeah, when you notice it, you're like, oh no, now it's just like ringing in your ear.
All right, next one is Mirrors by Justin Timberlake, but it's actually by all of NSYNC.
It's like a mirror. Oh, that song is so good.
Lots of harmonies. I feel like there is a universe in which that's better, and there's a universe in which that's worse.
I think it might be worse.
Really? Okay, so what number are you going for?
I'm gonna say 8 because they're still good, but like that one's just such an OG song.
Yeah, if done wrong, it could be a 7, and if done right, it could be an 11. Like, just a smidge better.
Yeah.
Next one, Beauty and a Beat by Justin Bieber, but he raps all of Nicki's verse instead of featuring her on the song.
That's got to be a 0. But you know what? But also,
she brings the energy.
It could be a 12 because of how hilarious it would be.
It depends if you're going on an ironic scale or not. I think...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's already such a great song, like with that Zed beat and like the Selena part. I think it'd be really funny to hear him say Selena.
Yeah. It's true.
And he also just talks about what, his wiener or something like that. Like I feel like that'd be really weird to hear.
I didn't even know that.
Oh no, she goes buns out, wiener, but I gotta keep an eye out for Selena. That's what it is. If he
That's
sang
great.
that, I
That's
don't know.
incredible.
It'd be kind of iconic, but it'd also be kind of, I don't know. How old was he during that song? Maybe it'd be terrible. All right, I'm gonna go with 5. It's hard to
Yeah.
destroy that song, but that would be a good way to do it. So let's catch up a little bit. It's been almost 3 years since you were last on the show. It feels like a
Long.
lifetime ago.
Too
So
long.
let's get up to speed. What were the biggest, and this is a huge question, I'm sorry. What were the biggest life events to happen to you in the past 3 years?
I think kind of one that we all went through at the same time was COVID. That was one of the most insane moments because before that, I was traveling the world. I was doing a bunch of radio tours. And as soon as COVID happened, I was just inside for like a year or two. And that was kind of one of the first times that I was just able to just sit with all my thoughts and everything in my head. And I was like, oh man, I've never really had like anxiety or depression until that moment hit. And it kind of hit me like fucking Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball, like just knocked me out. And yeah, but it was tough, but it was also a good time for me to actually kind of detox in a way.
And then you
And then
retoxed
I
later.
retox later. Exactly. Exactly.
Detox into the retox.
Actually, this year, as soon as 2024 hit, I really just wanted to get my mind and body into shape. Cause like before then I was working a ton. Like I wrote my album as far as the eye could see. But during that time I was smoking a lot of weed. I was drinking quite a bit. And like this year I was like, okay, I'm cutting all that out. It's time to get focused. And I've been reading a lot.
Another detox.
Exactly, another detox. Literally,
Yeah, nice.
I'm really. One of my goals this year was to just get my mind and body right and just completely stay focused and just lock it in. Honestly,
It feels good after like a lot of like self-indulging on like things that aren't great for you, and you're just like, yeah, but like I can not clean my room, or I
mm-hmm.
can just like skip this workout, or I can eat this thing, and then you kind of feel like shit
Yeah,
after all of it,
exactly,
like all together, and it feels so good to just kind of wash all that out.
literally, and it's funny because that's literally what my single "Foolish" is about.
The song has a stunning music video, by the way.
Thank you.
Do you ever like see the vision for the videos when you're writing the songs, or does that come like after it's done and dusted, and then you're like, all right, I focused on the production and the writing, and now I can focus on the visuals?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like ideas come in my head. That visual came to me like after the song was written. That is kind of like what Foolish is about. Indulging, go for the forbidden fruit, exploring all of those emotions and aspects of life. So for the music video, I wanted to be somewhere that indulges in like pleasure. And for me, that was like being on an island and, surrounded by nature and just beautiful scenery. And so we went to Puerto Rico, shot the most beautiful video.
So you're like, basically, I want to have a free vacation.
Yeah, pretty much.
a work vacation in a beautiful place. No, that's awesome though. I see the vision. Speaking of vision, actually, so there's the new album on the horizon this year, As Far as the Eye Can See. That makes both of your albums reference vision in the title. Is that like an intentional way to tie them together? Is that kind of like an accident?
That's kind of an accident. That's kind of an accident. Skyview is a drive-in movie theater in my hometown. But no, I didn't even really put that together.
So debut albums are great and they're really precious. But then also I feel like you can learn a lot of lessons from it because it's your first time doing something. I feel like your first time doing anything, you can look back and be like, oh, now I know this and that and the other thing. What were some lessons that you took away from making Skyview that you feel like you wanted to have a different approach with for this record?
That's a great question. One of the main lessons that I learned was I need to work with one team. And for me, that was me locking in with one producer, my executive producer, Kid Culture. He's also an artist.
Yeah.
He's incredibly talented. He's my boy. That's not my brother. And, just locking in with him. And we literally hand selected like 2-3 different writers to come in that we wanted to collaborate with. But initially we went in together. I had a bunch of ideas like Foolish and another song that will be coming soon, and like many of the other songs that are on the album. I had all these ideas, came in, we like initially started like producing them out, writing other lyrics, and then we got to a good skeleton of everything. And with my first album, it was kind of all over the place. I was writing with these people, I was going over here to write with these people. And that's another way of doing it as well. But at the end of it, it's not very cohesive. I wanted to make an album. I knew I wanted to make an album, so I knew it had to be cohesive. So working with just a select few people was going to make that happen.
In talking about changes, right, there's been a big aesthetic change,
Mm-hmm.
both with this new era, but also retroactively with old eras. Some of the artwork for your album and singles have been changed on streaming. What inspired you to revamp your past visuals?
Yeah, so I think kind of goes back to the whole cohesive thing. I wanted everything to look a little bit more cohesive. And with this next era that I'm going for, I really love like neutral tones and kind of like not so bright and like poppy colors.
Yeah, because they used to be like blues and yellows
Uh-huh,
and
exactly.
yeah.
And I really just
Okay,
wanted to steer
cool.
away from that because I mean everything I look in my closet now is all just like neutral tones. And that just feels more like me.
It's kind of cool though, because then it's like your past art can evolve with you and
Yeah.
not just your new art. That's sick. Foolish, right? You said is about toxicity, like indulging in that.
Yeah.
But at least judging by the lyrics, it seemed you were pretty aware the whole time that it wasn't very healthy to live in,
Yeah.
which is very relatable. Don't get me wrong. What took you from staying in this, even though I know it's not good for me, to okay, I'm actually not going to do this anymore? Like, what was the moment where you were like, all right, this is moving on time?
Yeah. Well, it was a long distance relationship. So
Right.
it was really number one, it was already just super difficult. But I mean, again, the feelings were just kind of outweighing my conscious brain. And so kind of having that alone time really just made me sit with myself and think like, what am I doing right now? Also conversations with my friends are like, oh, like, what are you doing right now? Like, is this good for you? Are you distracted? And I was distracted. And then after that whole thing happened, that's when I also had a major switch of, okay, time for like self-care and, working on myself.
Do you ever have times where you're like, I'm glad I went through all of that? And if so, like, what are the benefits of surviving such a tricky situation?
I think there's always a benefit in everything that you go through. I think, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't excuse me, why I got this tattoo. It means to like see the beauty within the struggle. So with everything that I've gone through in my life, um, in the moment, obviously it hurts and it feels terrible, but to switch the perspective and to try to look at it in a better light is something I always try to do. I think it's super important. So out of this relationship, I realized that I need to focus more on myself, and I also realized that it's okay to be human sometimes, and it's okay to have those emotions, and not to beat myself up for it. And it's okay to indulge for a little bit, but at the same time, I came out of it and I was aware of the situation, and I still chose to get out of it. So, I'd like to see the beauty within it.
You're taking care of yourself. There's a little bit of silver lining everywhere, and I feel like I can sense that these might be some upcoming themes on the album. So I'm excited to hear you get into it in a musical sense. How much of this album is about that thread of thought or that kind of idea of getting out of it? Is it all lyrically cohesive, or are there other things that you've touched on?
I would say a good chunk of it has touched that kind of relationship, and a lot of things I talk about in that. But there's also a good amount of songs as well that talk about like friendships, or there's one song that talks about like a dream that I had and how that kind of changed my perspective on life in a way.
Oh, I love when that happens.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs, one of the most beautiful songs I've ever written. It's called Hypnotizing Wonder.
Oh,
uh,
okay. All right.
I kind of touch on a couple different things, but the majority of it sits on the relationship.
So I read somewhere that you moved to New York. I was just there this time last week, and there's like such a different energy in that city creatively.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that's impacted your art and this new album at all?
100%. I think the pace of New York has been super motivating, and it's been like exciting, and having seasons again, even like with the process of creating the music, I feel like you can hear the seasons in the music that I was making at the time. Yeah, it definitely had a huge impact. Also was in LA for 5 years before,
Yeah.
and I really needed to switch it up badly. So when I came out here, it's just like, new food, new scenery, new music, new studios, new this, new that. And so it was just like kind of refreshing for my mind.
Also going from Illinois to Los Angeles is like a lot, right? So
Yeah.
kind of getting out of it and having that like city boy kind of like background, now you're like, okay, let me like try a new flavor of city.
Yeah. And I like exploring.
And Skyview does feel like an LA album, whereas like
Yeah.
this, judging by the singles so far, definitely feels a lot more New York. I always think that's the
Yeah.
difference between like a Katy Perry and a Lady Gaga, right? Like just
Mm-hmm.
it's like I love both of them so much, but it's
Yeah.
like Lady Gaga is very New York, you
Yeah,
know?
you can feel it. You can really feel
Yeah.
it in the music.
There's just a different kind of thing, like Mark Ronson as well. Just even though he's from the UK, I just feel like he's a very New York musician.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play another game. This one's called Firsts and Favorites.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions, and you just got to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
First artist that inspired you to make music.
Oof. My dad. I mean, that was the first thing that came to my mind, but he's not
Right.
really like an artist.
No. That's a good answer. All right, and now favorite artist at the moment.
Ryuichi Sakamoto, man.
Yeah. Okay, so first and favorites again. First album you bought.
I Am Not a Human Being Part 2 by Lil Wayne.
Yeah. Okay, we did talk about that. All right, favorite album of all time.
Oh shit.
I know that's a tough one.
I can't name one. That's fucked up. There's so many albums that are just like they're all on the same line.
All right. Okay. First song to go triple platinum in your household.
So there's what's that one song? Hilary Duff, Let the Rain Fall
Come
Down.
Clean.
Come
Yes.
Clean. Yo, that
That's
song was playing all the time. All the
That
fucking
is
time.
brilliant. Yeah. All right. Favorite song in your own discography.
Oh, discography. At the moment, it's Foolish.
All right. Cool.
Until my next one drops, then it's
Yes. Then it'll be dethroned.
Yeah.
All right. First music video to make an impression on you.
Oh, what's that one music video? You know when everyone's like they like catch the like a virus of the humps, they can't stop like dancing, they're like falling through the roof.
What?
What's that fucking video?
The catch a virus of the humps? Wait, is that like
probably the weirdest statements I've ever said in my life.
is that
Like literally they can't stop like humping the air. Like,
is it a rap song?
no, it's not. It's like a EDM. It's like it's not. Don't drop that. Dun, dun, dun. It's
Turn down for what? No.
turn down for what? Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it? Okay, cool.
Turn down for what? I think it is. I'm pretty sure that's it. You need to watch that music video if you haven't
All right,
seen
so
it.
that's the first, but your favorite music video of all time?
The first one that came to my head was the Bruno Mars "Today I Don't Feel Like Doing Anything."
Oh, the Lazy song. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that video. All right, first song that you covered.
I think it was Adam Levine. If I got locked away and we lost it all today.
Hey, all right, and then favorite cover you've ever done. I was gonna say you have a lot of covers. This is
This one's
probably
so hard. I'm thinking
trickier
of
for you
so
than other
many.
guests.
Yeah, I would say John Bellion. I did Guillotine.
Yes, I was just listening to John this morning.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and now we've come to the last part of the show, our top five.
All right. All right, top 5. I had to dig deep because, like I said, I've been listening to a ton of classical music, but I got a top 5 for you.
So this is where we list our top 5 of a certain category. This episode's theme is our top 5 favorite releases of 2023. These can be albums or songs. I kind of cheated and did music videos for one of them. But for the purpose of this segment, I did not include any of the main pod girls just to avoid bias. I didn't include any of my friends either. I wanted to be like strictly as a fan. What would this be? So I had to cut out some of my favorite releases of last year because all the people I have on the show are like my favorite artists. Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You can start.
Okay. All right. Number 5, Calico by Ryan Beatty. I love this man so much. Every album he releases is like a masterpiece in like a completely different way. There are never any skips. I can't name a single skip in his whole discography. This was like a really great stripped back album, but it wasn't like really presented as a stripped back album. My number 4 is Bad Idea Right by Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
I just thought it was such a badass way to kick off the era. Like I know Vampire was the first song from the era, but I think Bad Idea Right really told you what the album was about.
Yeah.
I think Vampire is kind of an outlier because like what made me really enjoy this Olivia Rodrigo album is she put it in this way. Her last album was all about other people and the things that they did wrong, and this album was about all of her own faults and the things, the messiness that she went through on the inside instead of like how other people were the villain. So I thought Bad Idea Right was like a perfect way to be like exactly what you've been talking about, right? Where it's like
100%.
it's like I shouldn't go to his house, but I'm gonna anyway.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
anyway
I'm gonna
because it's a
indulge.
bad idea, right? But I'm gonna fucking do it.
She's been crushing it.
Number 3 is all of Doja Cat's Scarlet music videos. All the music videos she released last year. Like Attention really, really set the tone. Paint the Town Red, she was like in her own artwork. I thought it was great. Demons was actually scary and like really fun. And then Agora Hills, it's like a creepy Y2K as opposed to like all the glam Y2K that people have been doing. So I just thought her music videos, like I love that album. I love those songs, but I felt like the music videos is what I wanted to highlight in this segment.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the Jonas Brothers, their album called The Album, which just carried me through the summer. And then my number 1 is The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan.
Wow.
It's really unhinged in like the best way. Like she just like kind of like holds no punches.
I like that.
All right, and that's my top 5.
Amazing.
AJ, your turn.
All right, here we go. Number 5, we have Sophie Ellis Bextor, Murder on the Dance Floor. That song has just been stuck in my head. I can't get that shit out of my head.
I didn't even think about songs that didn't come out but like trended last year. That's a good one. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Did you see Saltburn?
I did see Saltburn.
Was it good? I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
I won't say anything, but I will say you definitely have to watch it. It's pretty insane.
I definitely plan to watch it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It definitely yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Okay. That's how everyone's described it to me. They were like, I can't say anything. But
yeah, because it gives it away. So
yeah, right.
Number 4, Caroline Polachek, Pretty Impossible.
Oh, hell yeah.
I also didn't realize that she's a producer as well. She produces all of her own music. Her production is so good.
You got to work with her next.
That'd 100%.
That would be awesome.
I definitely put that on my collaboration list because she's incredible. And her vocal is super unique. She just has her own little way of melody. And number 3, I would say Driver by Bennett Coast.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah, my cousin actually showed me a lot of his stuff. And he's like, yo, you got to listen to him. You got to check him out. He actually put me on to so much music when I was younger. Like he put me on to like Coldplay. I had no idea what Coldplay was until he played me Paradise. I was like, yeah, this band's kind of good. Yeah, he always puts me on to good music. Yeah, so the hook of this song is it's really catchy. And yeah, he's incredible. And visually as well. He started like making his own like videos when he was a kid. So his entire aesthetic is super cool, and he does it all himself. Number 2, I have to say my brother Kid Culture. Good Sex is so good. Also, every single song that he's dropped is a fucking banger. Is so insane. So if no one's listened to him, you gotta fucking check him out. His production is insane. I think he wrote that song by himself. But yeah, he's an all around just an incredible artist. My number 1, since I'm being biased right now, this artist released this song at the end of 2023. It's called Passionate by this kid named AJ.
I was going to say. I was like, I know where this is going.
And, that song's just really good.
He's our name triplet,
Yeah, the third one.
All right, well, thank you so much, AJ, for joining me.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
This was so much fun. Also want to give a shout out to my boy Noah for the theme music. Make sure to rate and review us on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on right now. It would be a huge help. Thank you so much. I will see y'all on the flip side. Goodbye.